Howdy, folks. My name's Andy, and you have found yourself watching the Speed Run, where we cover the news faster than Dementia Don can invade a new country. This week, loyalty gets rewarded, criticism gets cracked down on, and the Trump family responds to economic anxiety by opening a fucking bank. Before we get to that, let's go over the one word that got the entire administration acting weird. Natalie. Alright, here we go. Now, if you ain't seen it, Senator Jon Ossoff was caught on camera recently at one of his rallies saying that the shit-stain chief, I'm paraphrasing here, would rather build his ballroom and travel with Natalie than do his job. And that has got the entire administration feeling some type of way. Because the Natalie in question, that would be Natalie Harp, Trump's personal assistant and apparent security blanket. The same assistant, mind you, who he slipped onto the plane with him when he had to sneak out of Turkey, leaving little Marco Rubio, the Treasury Secretary, and most of his staff on the original Air Force One to play decoy. Now, does that prove anything romantic? No. I'm just saying, if only a mere mention of her from Ossoff has Pumpkin Spice Palpatine personally calling him Pee Wee Herman and White House officials coining names like John Jackoff, well, maybe a chord has been struck. I wonder if this little relationship will last as long as his fling with Laura Loomer's mentally unstable ass did. Speaking of stability, or the lack thereof, let's get a little update on our new foreign policy stance, huh? Because in an apparent push to add to his collection of dictator pals, nepotism Napoleon has come forth to say that we will be substantially reducing our military exercises with South Korea as a way to punish them for not participating in our newest forever war, citing his very good relationship with Kim Jong-un. Those guys really do have so much in common. One's a crybaby who starves his people and uses violence to keep them in line if they don't comply. And the other's the leader of North Korea, who's known for his temper tantrums. And speaking of temper tantrums, y'all know we got to talk about the ongoing war with Iran and this little Microsoft Paint job, right? Yeah, apparently when faced with absolutely no possibility of negotiations on the table, this is what we resort to. We just circle the shit on a map and go, it's our territory now. And on top of all that, you got the President of the United States threatening to maybe or maybe not bomb Oman. Now, in full transparency, the White House has come out and disputed this, saying that Trump meant America would act against Iran if they threatened Oman. But, what does that say about your diplomacy skills when a mediator had to come forth and go, we think he wasn't making a threat? But hey, while we're wasting precious resources, losing allies, and any way out of this situation, at least his family is about to gain a whole bunch of new customers. Yeah, you remember that bank thing I said back at the start? Well, a Trump-appointed regulator granted conditional approval to the World Liberty Trust Company, a wing of the Trump crypto business, to establish a national trust bank. Now, while we can't prove these two things are connected, I'm just saying it does scream the mayor's opening a pawn shop while actively deleting the city's missing property records. Usually criminals rob the bank and then have to launder the money, but it seems the president is working smarter, not harder, and just cutting out the middleman. And speaking of crime, do y'all remember Tina Peters? The lady who got arrested over and convicted of 4 felonies and 3 misdemeanors after helping someone impersonate a county employee and gain access to voting equipment while chasing false evidence of 2020 election fraud? Yeah, well, she's back. After serving only 20 months of her 9-year sentence after pressure from Trump got her out on parole, apparently the election chief for Shasta County, California wants her as an employee. Now, have no fear. The official trying to hire her says that she would still have to go through the hiring process and she wouldn't have access to voting machines, but her relationship with Trump could come in handy. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that sounds a whole fucking lot like hiring the Hamburglar to run a McDonald's just because he knows Mayor McCheese to me. Meanwhile, Trump, the guy who championed the movement that inspired her crimes and made her think voting was corrupt, just voted by fucking mail in Florida, one of the main ways he says these things are happening. Make that shit make sense. All right, now before we get into the funny and I try to send y'all home with a smile on your face, we got to dive into the tail of the tape for what could be this quarter's biggest fight. In one corner, we officially have Donald Trump's FCC, and in the other, we have Disney, as they are suing over the review of their broadcast license. You see, Disney alleges that FCC Chairman Brandon Carr subjected ABC to an unusual early review in retaliation for the political satire that takes place on their channels. More specifically, you know we're talking about Jimmy Kimmel. And I'm just saying, I for one find it fucking hilarious that the same folks that have spent years screaming about cancel culture are melting like precious little snowflakes over one man's jokes about their felonious furor. Now, let's just hope the old saying holds true and the FCC has to learn the hard way. You never fuck with the mouse. Now, as for that aforementioned funny you were promised, did you know that Cards Against Humanity is raising money to build a monument on land they own near Elon Musk's SpaceX facility in Starbase, Texas? The same land, mind you, that the company bought in 2017 to obstruct the border wall and then was able to later sue SpaceX over when they trespassed and put their equipment on it. Yeah, well, now they're using that land to create the official Elon Musk is a sad little bitch with no friends monument, and they're calling on their community for $10 donations to become part of the design committee. Finally, some American infrastructure spending that I can actually support myself. I mean, will it restore democracy or regulate billionaires? Fuck no. But will it force Elon to wonder daily whether that monument is getting more engagement than him? Absolutely. And that, my friends, is a win. And in these days, well, we'll take those where we can get them. This has been the Speed Run this week. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope to catch y'all next time. See ya!